gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning. 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 Bolt of lightning.
What's going on there, YouTube? Chilling with Twisted 420 here. And guys, I am back with another Kids Logic product. Today we're taking a look at the Kids Logic floating hoverboard set. Now what's crazy about this set, I think it came out like 3 years ago. I'm finding YouTube videos dating back like 3 years ago. I didn't know it was released. I only knew about the car. And a quick update on the car. That video is getting a lot of views for some reason. I think it's up to like 200,000. It's pretty good. That car has been plugged up hovering damn near a year straight. I know a lot of people worried about the magnet wearing out, overheating, longevity and everything. I can tell you this, for pretty much a whole year, that thing's been floating. So that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. So now we have the hoverboards. And online I've seen them going for anywhere for about 160 to 200 and something bucks. But I got it for like 160 bucks from China on eBay. Okay, just got it in the other day, brought it in, unboxed it. The packaging is very similar to the OG Delorean. Everything was packaged pretty well. All the boards were in there. I love that you get boards from from Griff's whole gang. I think that's very, very cool. You do have a nice little floating stand, and something weird with this one, I guess because it's smaller or something. They don't include a wall adapter with this guy. They include a battery pack that takes like 8 AA batteries. And you plug that in and you got to replenish the batteries every time they drain. That's silly. They should have had a wall adapter. Either way, it calls for a 12 volt 2 amp adapter, so I went ahead and ordered one of those off of eBay as well. I hooked it up, everything seems to work fine. It seems to float just fine. But you also get a few different stands in the box, and if you're not floating one of the hoverboards, you can stand them all up, kind of display them. I like that. I got all mine lined up right behind my Delorean and my hoverboard. I think it looks pretty damn cool. It looks pretty cool. Now something really cool about one board in particular, that's the Pitbull. The Pitbull was the coolest, no doubt, board on Back to the Future 2. The Pitbull actually takes a battery, kind of like a watch battery, and they include a battery and a screwdriver to where you can open it up and pop your battery in. You got an itty bitty little on-off switch that you hit, and bam, you have red LEDs glowing inside the exhaust pipes on the Pitbull. That's really cool, kind of simulating the flames and everything coming out of them. I thought that was a nice touch. Now the main Mattel hoverboard, the main one that Marty used throughout the movie, you can rock it two ways. You can rock it with the handlebars on it, or you can rock it just by itself as the board. Now if you're gonna use it as just the board, it's gonna throw the balance off from taking the handle off, so you have to put in a little metal washer. Anytime you want to take the handles off, you got to make sure that you put that washer back in, or take it out if you want to put the handles on. But here's something peculiar, people. I gotta say, the first Kids Logic release on the old Delorean was nice. That thing floats smooth and perfect. These hoverboards, they vary so much in size and weight and balancing and everything. Most of them are good except for two. We need to discuss that right now, people. Now, if you have the main hoverboard with the handlebars on, no issue. It'll float all day. It's fine. It's pretty smooth. But if you take those handlebars off, that thing starts going crazy. Initially it starts out okay, then it starts hopping. It starts jumping all over the place, then after a while a buzzer will start going off. Now this thing happens sporadically. I never know when it's gonna do this. So I did capture footage on my phone of this happening. Here you go. Okay, I just grabbed my phone. As you can hear, that's what it does after a bit with the hoverboard. And it won't stop. Here, look, that means it's died. Now what'll happen is I'll let it sit for a second. It's a little warm, not too warm, but it feels a little warm. Plug it back up. Plug it back up. It takes like a minute before it lights back up, and then you can stick something back on it. But yeah, just the hoverboard by itself is a no-go. Maybe it's just my unit, I don't know. Hey, you pooches, calm down. What are y'all doing, playing tug-of-war? Now, yeah, it freaks all the way out, starts making these noises, doing crazy stuff. You gotta unplug it, leave it unplugged for a minute, plug it back up, it's a whole thing. You put the handlebars back on, no issue. No issue. Now, every single other board that comes in the package, the rest of the gang's boards, they all seem to float fine. I had no problem setting them up, and now that I've gotten used to having the Delorean, setting them up and getting them to float is super duper easy now. It's not a big issue. Now, the one other board, the Pitbull. The pit bull is weighted weird. It's probably because it has all the extra in the rear with the LEDs, but it'll get to a point, it'll spin a little bit, but it'll get to a point to where it just sits. And it seems like the rear is pretty much resting, but it's still floating. It's weird. It doesn't just keep floating. Now, if you do spin it and get it moving, when it's sitting still, if it's not tilted back, it's like rumbling, kind of like in the movie how it was all pissed off and ready to go. It seems like it has a rumble built in. I don't know if that was on purpose or on accident, but I noticed it nonetheless. But yeah, those, the main Mattel hoverboard and the pit bull are the only ones that have any kind of odd things that happen when it comes to floating. The others, A-okay, good to go. And I gotta say, the detail on the boards is nice. I like the graphics. The prints, everything they did there, I gotta say, they did a pretty good job on these boards. I think they look good. Okay, people, something else too that I've learned from owning that Delorean for a year now, basically, is everything's fine with it, but if the power goes out, it's gonna come crashing down. And unfortunately, power went out a few times at our old house. We had moved since then. The power went out a few times. The force of the DeLorean come crashing down, it put a few cracks in the mirror, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks. That's something to know if you plan on getting any of this stuff that floats by being plugged up. Power goes out, it's coming crashing down. Just hope it doesn't break something. So overall, I do like this. If you have the floating DeLorean, it makes sense to have the floating hoverboard in conjunction. But there's just too many, there was too many things not quite right. Like I said, not having the handle, the pit bull being all crazy, not including a wall adapter. I don't know what they were thinking there, especially for something that's almost 200 bucks. But needless to say, I enjoy it. I'm glad I got it, and I figured I'd pop on here, even though I'm sure there's other videos out there. I figured I'd pop on here and share my info about it and let you guys know what I think, and give you the update on my DeLorean that's been floating for a friggin' year straight. That's impressive. That's not bad. We'll see how the hoverboard does. Maybe I'll come back and update you guys down the line. But if nothing else, I hope you guys enjoyed this little dorky, geeky video about a floating toy. Alright? I'll put links in the description so you can go look around and check them out. Other than that, I am out. Y'all stay sexy out there.